All right. So I guess now you understand what the plan was.
Absolutely. At Colts Law, we talk Indianapolis Colts football.
We're going to stick to what we know, fundamentals and technique, 1% better every day.
What's going on, Colts Nation? And we lost, like I predicted. But you know what? That's fine. And it was really close to the prediction that I had. I mean, my final prediction for this game was 17-24. Titans win. And, I mean, you don't get a whole lot closer than that. I was 1 point off for each score. That was pretty close. This game was all about injuries. All about injuries. On both teams. Both teams. All about injuries. First off, obviously, Carson Wentz, big time injury for the Indianapolis Colts, right? And you could see it. It affected him big time. He could not move. He was a statue. Phillip Rivers moved better than him late season last year than what Carson Wentz was able to do this game. I mean, he even stated apparently that, he woke up every night in the middle of the night in agonizing, throbbing pain. And yet still somehow he went out there and played. Question his toughness, if you will, but I don't think that that's fair. I think Carson Wentz's toughness, I don't think can be questioned. Does he get hurt a lot? Yes. But he will go out there and he will play his butt off. That's how I see it. Then you got injuries for, remember this part. Quentin Nelson went down. With what apparently seemed to be a foot injury on his right foot. That's a scary situation. We're already dealing with the fact that Eric Fisher's on a pitch count still this week. As you saw, there was times in this game where Eric Fisher wasn't playing. So we had issues. And I can see why he's on the pitch count. He gave up an edge sack late in the game, right? That got called back, thankfully, because of pass interference, defensive holding. Couple penalties happened in this game. The penalty on Rhodes I didn't like. But go look at the Tennessee Titans. They had injuries too, right? A.J. Brown didn't play in this game. Julio Jones went out in this game. They had offensive lineman injuries all over the place. They had defensive guys hurt. This was a game of injuries. And I said, in order for the Colts to win, I thought, they had to really come out and the defense had to get turnovers. And they got turnovers. 3 of them. 3 interceptions and a forced fumble. And you know what? It kept the game close. But Tennessee just too much, and we had too many key injuries on our side of the field, right? I thought that Frank Reich called a good game this game, which, a lot of people look at and would say, huh? Because you've been hearing this a lot as of the last couple games about Frank Reich not playing good games, not taking the field goal when he needs to, play calling. So I thought his play calling and his decision making was spot on. Kicked the field goal when he needed to kick it. I would not have went for it on either of those. He went on 4th down a few times, made both 4th down conversions. He started passing the football. Okay, Loyalist, I understand. That's cool. They were passing the football inside the 10-yard line this time, They did well. I thought they did what they needed to do in this game. So I get it. It was smart. The Nyheim Hines, oh my goodness, that screenplay to Nyheim Hines was awesome. Brandon Woods says it came down to not executing inside the 10. Well, pretty much. I mean, they played well. Wentz threw the football away a few times, had to. I hope he gets that this time. There was a couple plays where there was a lot of pressure. Offensive line had issues, especially inside the line, inside the 10-yard line, as you guys were saying. They had a lot of pass play calls when they were in the red zone. A lot of them. One went right off the fingertips of Zach Pascal right in the back of the end zone. It was a good defensive play by the Titans, who just kind of fingertipped it out of his hands. Well placed by Carson. Just a great defensive play right there. I thought the Colts played well, considering the situation they were in. I mean, they had, what, 2 offensive linemen? That was it? 2 offensive linemen the entire game? They had slants, Joe. They had lots of slants. The only issue is they were covered because of the way the Tennessee Titans were covering it. I saw slant plays called, but they were covered by linebackers and safeties. I've seen quite a few of them. They just took those away. They took away the middle of the field. They forced Carson Wentz to throw to the outside a lot because, and that was a smart game plan too, because in order for outside plays to happen, it takes time for them to develop. Carson Wentz being as immobile as they were, that had issue. That's an issue, you know. And so they played defensively against Carson Wentz's immobility. And that's a big problem. But I appreciate each and every one of them, every one of you in here. The defense really stepped up hard. 3 turnovers. Derrick Henry's a monster. Derrick Henry ran over everybody at some point. The only person he didn't run over was DeForest Buckner and Grover Stewart. Those 2 guys, but of course, you know, they're defensive tackles. But I mean, he lowered his shoulder into Darius Leonard as Darius was trying to punch the ball out and just knocked him back like a pinball. He stiff-armed Xavier Rhodes to the ground, made him look like a rag doll, you know. And yet still, as I said, held him to where we needed to hold him. I said, you know, we're not going to stop Henry. Keep him between 110 and 120, and that's what they did. They kept him between 110 and 120 yards rushing, which is good, right? That screenplay to Derrick Henry, that was a backbreaker. That was a backbreaker. Just Henry's a monster, dude. It is what it is, and it sucks. I get starting out 0-3. It's not the end of the world. I thought we played our butts off considering the injuries that we're dealing with. Like I said, 2 healthy offensive linemen. That's it, 2. And Ryan Kelly's not even healthy. He's playing in a way, you know, with that hyperextended elbow. And then Mark Glowinski. And everybody else is hurt. That was the issue. And you know what? Brandon Wood, you're talking about Tannehill played his butt off too. His receivers let him down. One of the interceptions was bad on him. One interception was bad on him. He threw it behind his receiver. Darius Leonard picked it off. The other one, he hit Rodgers right perfect. Rodgers didn't even turn around to catch the football. Bounced up. Kenny Moore took off. Ryan Tannehill, you know, I thought played pretty darn well overall for this game. He had 60 yards rushing and 3 runs. No one could tackle him. No one. He kept drives alive. We need to get healthy. The Colts need to get healthy on offense. That's the problem. Especially offense, where it matters. Offensive line and quarterback, right? That is where it matters. Big time. Carson Wentz not being mobile and going out there and playing on 2 bum ankles and literally look, like I said earlier, less mobile than Phillip Rivers did late last season. You know, that was a bad situation to put him in. The offensive line, Quentin Nelson going out, Eric Fisher still on a pitch count. Right tackle not doing well. It wasn't a good situation. We need to get healthy and start playing well on offense. That's what, yeah, I said that earlier, Brandon. It's not just the Colts that's been dealing. This is a game of injuries. Both teams were dealing with injuries, right? And it is. It's exactly what it was. But there's a lot of good to take out of it. The Colts, came away with some turnovers, which is great, defensively. I thought Michael Pittman still looked really good. That's 2 games in a row that Michael Pittman looked very solid. That catch that was overturned by Paris Campbell, that was supposed to be overturned. That was not a catch. Hell of a try by Paris, though. Hell of a try. I mean, diving, catches the football with his 2 middle fingers in both hands and was just trying to flip it back into his body, but he was falling down and the ground hit it before he was able to get his hands up underneath to protect it. Good try by Paris, though. That was on a crossing. Naheem Hines played his butt off. Jonathan Taylor looked good, even with poor blocking on the line. I mean, dude's yards after contact was stupid this game. Stupid this game. He get hit at or behind the line of scrimmage and still pick up 5 yards. I mean, he looked like Derrick Henry out there running the ball. Zaire Franklin, don't get me starting, Brayton Nicholas. Don't get me starting on. Zaire Franklin screwed us twice in this game. Twice. Once on a completely blown play against Derrick Henry earlier. And then the punt, right? Roughing the kicker. Are you kidding me? We had them off the field. We were getting the ball back. Why? Why? Why even get close to? I get you wanted to block the punt. I understand that. But that was a win on the defense. We forced them to punt. You can't make mistakes like that. Yes, he is a captain on on special teams, Brandon. And he made plays like that. Come on, guys. It was so bad. Did you notice Matthew Adams was in there at times for Zaire Franklin at Sam linebacker? Kari Willis got hit on that penalty, right? Kari Willis got hit on that penalty, then all of a sudden he has an injury and is replaced by Sendejo. And Sendejo starts playing well. Let's talk a little bit about Rock Ya-Sin. Let's talk about a little bit about the guy. Everybody is, before the season started, they so many people saying we need to drop Rock Ya-Sin. We need to let Rock Ya-Sin go. He is trash. He's a bust. He has done nothing but been the best corner for the Indianapolis Colts in 3 games. Nothing but. And then he gets hurt late in this game. He got hurt late in this game. He forced that fumble. He was making tackles. He was doing everything in this game. Rock Ya-Sin has been playing his butt off these last 3 games. The pass interference call against Xavier Rhodes was tic-tac. And I feel like there should have been a pass interference down the sidelines to Michael Pittman Jr. on that touchdown, because it was just as tic-tacky as the one that was called on Xavier Rhodes. If you're going to call it one way, call it the other. If you're going to call a little tic-tac pass interference, hand-fighting stuff, that you need to call it both ways, right? I get it. You're in Tennessee, so Tennessee's going to get the benefit of the doubt. It happens. Tennessee just beat our butt. Animal Science, how much did you give up for once? A second-round pick, and we're only paying him $20 million a year. And I thought Carson Wentz played his butt off with the ankle injury. I really did. He stood tall, took a lot of hits. There should have been a roughing the passer penalty on that final drive. He threw the football, and then the defender grabbed the front of his shirt and then slingshot ripped him down to the ground after he let it go. I think Carson Wentz is by far not the problem. Carson Wentz is playing his butt off. It just sucks that, he's not getting any help with the offensive line. The offense is not having, it is what it is. Guys, please smash that like button. Hit subscribe if you're not subscribed. Tag that notification bell so that you're notified next time we go live. I had a recording about, a breakdown on Ryan Tannehill when he went to the Titans. Back when he went to the Titans, if you go check out my film rooms, and it's way back there. It's a few years. It's like 2 years back. I said Ryan Tannehill is a good-ass player. That he's more mobile than people give him credit for, and he's a better quarterback than most people give him credit for. I've been saying that and saying that and saying that, and he is. He really is. Wentz, I think, is playing as tough as possible. I mean, when you wake up every night through the week in agonizing pain, throbbing pain in your ankles, and yet somehow are out there playing a game, a divisional game against a very hard-nosed opponent in the Titans. When I say hard-nosed, I mean they come in, they play hard and tough. I mean that's what you get from a Mike Vrabel coached defense. Without your one of your better weapons, and that is your mobility. I thought he changed it up quite a bit. He threw a lot of quick passes. He had 2 deep passes in this game. Yeah. What is next on the schedule? Can you make the playoffs still? Animal Science TV asks. Yes, we can. We got Miami next. We got Miami Dolphins. I've been in contact with TD Finns, and we'll probably be doing some streams together this week, trying to get to know each other's team. I'm really scared about Quentin Nelson. That right foot makes me really scared because that's the same foot that he had the surgery on, if I remember correctly. And so I'm wondering what happened. Mason Mabin says we need receiver help as well. I don't think so. I think the receivers are doing pretty good. They just don't have time to get open, right? The offensive line is so bad. I mean, have you watched Zach Pascal, Michael Pittman Jr. make these catches? They're doing a very, very good job, in my opinion. I don't think we need receiver help. It'll be nice when T.Y. gets back, if he gets back, in the next week or so. It'd be nice, get a little extra help there. I get it. Chris Reed, yeah, he's okay. He's an okay backup guard. He did get pushed a little bit a couple times, though. I mean, but for the most part, Jeffrey Simmons was held in check most of the game. It was the edges that we had issues with. Yeah, I saw the play where he got hurt, where he was blocked and the whole line kind of crumbled down on top of him. And he didn't land on just his calf. I mean, it was his ankle too, and that scares me because if his ankle goes out instead of in, that's a scary situation. Because they're saying it was his right foot, his right shoe was off. It was his right shoe that was off, and they were saying it was a right foot injury. And that's the same foot that he had the surgery on. So I'm hoping that everything is okay there. Joe says didn't help that Pascal was getting held like every other play. And the only time they called it was when he was thrown to the ground after 10 yards, right? I mean, it's true. That's exactly it. That's exactly it. But I thought, for the most part, I thought Indy fought their butts off. I wasn't upset with the play calling at all. I really wasn't. The only thing I was seriously upset about was the fact that why can't Fisher, I get he's still on a pitch count, but if he played 63% last week and he was still good in full practice all week, why not play him straight through? And the other thing, if Carson Wentz is that immobile, that's going to mess with how he plays. Why not try Jacob Eason? Right? Because Carson Wentz's instincts is one. You've seen where it was messing with his instincts. When he started to scramble right up the gut, there was wide open area in front of him. And he pitched the ball out, right? And it was a bad pitch, incomplete, bad pitch. But he pitched the ball out. So why not give Eason a shot? And not put Carson Wentz in that situation? It's got me questioning that. That's what I'm not understanding. Unless there's something going on with Eason that we don't know about. Because everything that we've seen from training camp and practice and everything, he looked good. And I get, he did not look good on the 5 plays that he had at the end of the fourth quarter last game. But, I mean, you couldn't put him in a worse situation in the first place. So, why not? We should have let Wentz rest and heal and gave Eason the reins, at least at the start. If it started out bad and it was looking bad, through the first, Eason wasn't able to go for the first quarter and it was bad, pull and put Wentz in. But I think you should have gave Eason a shot. Just my thought, Mason Maven says, I agree. I think we should rest Wentz. We're taking a huge risk. Exactly. I want him to get healthy, And it's not just the fact that, he's immobile. It's the immobility is going to play with him up here, like I said, And then on top of that, the risk of further injuring it worse or even extending the injury, obviously. Playing on it's not going to allow it to heal any faster. I promise you that. But I thought we ran the ball fairly effective this game. And for the amount of time that Wentz had to throw the football, I thought he played through it fairly effectively. David Lewis says they're just not a good team this year, to be honest. Injuries. It's team injuries. That's why they're not a good team. We need to get healthy. That's the problem. Animal Science, do you want Wentz long term? I need to see more from him. I want to see if he can get healthy and stay healthy. Okay? That's the issue. I like Wentz. I like his playability. I like how he throws. I like his toughness. I want to see what he can do with a healthy offensive line and if he can continue to improve in making better decisions on getting rid of the ball quicker, right? These 3 games kind of not been a good sign to get a good look at Wentz with the Colts because of how bad the offensive line has been. Nick says the Colts should sit Wentz and tank. I don't think that there's no reason to tank. I think the Colts, even at 0-3, having the toughest schedule in the NFL through the first 5 games, we knew we weren't going to walk out of this 5-0. We still got a shot at walking out 2-3, which is what the majority of fans and everyone expected. There's still a big chance, right? Remember, we just need to get healthy and see, because after the Ravens game, the schedule gets cake easy for the most part. There's a couple games in there that can be tough, right? We got the Cardinals, we got the Titans again, we got New England, we got Buffalo, right? We got the Niners. But spread through there are a lot of easy games as well. Including both our Jacksonville games, both our Texans games. So, and then of course the Jets. So I think there is a shot. What's up, Derek? Appreciate you being here. Derek asked me to join him on a recording for a post-game recording, and I had to yell at him. And I didn't yell at him, but I was like, you know what, dude? I was getting ready to go live and give my post-game reaction too, and I kind of felt bad for not joining him, but, I had to get this out here because there was a lot in this game that made me optimistic. Just like the game against the Rams, optimistic. We took the Rams, which might be the best team in the NFC, to the wire. We took Tennessee without our entire offensive line and had a shot at beating them. This was a close game until the fourth quarter. You just finished your video? That's awesome, dude. Appreciate you. I thought the play calling was good. I thought, there was not a play call that was egregiously bad. I like the fact that, they were throwing the football when they were like 7 yards out rather than, trying to just run it in like they were last week. I like the fact that, they kicked the field goal when they needed to rather than going for it on fourth down, things of that nature. They did a lot of good stuff. I think the team is learning. They just got to get healthy. Well, the individual bad, David, for the most part, the individual bad is on the backup players that just aren't good. Right? Kari Willis has been having a bad season so far. Rocky Sin's been playing lights out so far this season. Rocky, and then he's hurt. I hope it's not long term. Right? Holy crap, my chat is just moving like crazy. Nick says that Taylor we only ran him 10 times, and I agree. But I think there's a reason why we only ran him 10 times. And it was because they were expecting it. The Titans, with a hobbled Wentz and a busted O-line, were expecting run plays all the time, right? So that's why I thought they went to the pass. And we did. We passed well. Wentz played well in the passing game. He didn't do bad. I think and Hines did okay running the football as well. They used a lot of 1-2 punch in that situation. Kenny Moore, Brayton, you're right. I said this week 1, Kenny Moore looked bad. Week 2, Kenny Moore did not look good. This game, Kenny Moore, he got an interception, but it was a gift because it got popped up in the air right in front. He made the play. I'll give him that. But he got burnt on a lot of plays. And he got demolished a couple plays too. Kenny Moore's got an off season this year. Kenny Moore was only the third best rated corner on the team last year. If you can believe that. Right? TJ Carey and Xavier Rhodes were both rated better than Kenny Moore last year. This year, he's the fourth best. So far. Okay, Nick, when you're talking about the 19 of 37, no touchdowns, no interceptions, and a lot of that was throwaways, right? A lot of those incompletions, he was just getting rid of the football. Throwaways because he was under pressure, which I would rather see him do that than take the hit, right? I can name at least 5 or 6 of those incompletions off the top of my head where he just threw the football away, right? Because he had no time to make a play. Because there was pressure in his face from the offensive line. We need to get him more time. Now, see, like, I didn't see a whole lot of drops in this game, Derek. I think I saw one drop by our receivers. The Paris Campbell was an incomplete pass. Can't put that on Paris. He did everything he could to bring that ball in. You know, he just wasn't able to get it to his body before he himself hit the ground. And that made it an incomplete pass. I mean, he caught the ball with his fingertips and tried to bring it in. I agree it was an incomplete pass, but it was just, you know, bad situation. It was out there just a little bit too far for him to bring it in fully. I didn't see the opening drive, Derek. I didn't see the opening drive. Sorry. My stream was not good. Okay? So I didn't see the opening drive. I couldn't get my stream to work properly until the Titans had the football. So I can't comment on that. I'll have to go back and look with Game Pass when it comes up here in a couple hours. But for the parts that I watched, I thought they did pretty good. They made a lot of contested catches. Michael Pittman had a lot of contested catches. Yeah, Nick, I was explaining this earlier. They ran a lot of slant routes with Paris and a bunch of other guys. But if you watch the defense of what Tennessee was doing, they were dropping 2 linebackers for the most part in those zones to take away slant patterns. And that's what they were doing. They were making Carson Wentz throw to the outside edges because they knew he was hobbled and the offensive line was having issues. So they were taking away the quick routes is what they were doing. They were taking away the quick routes and making Carson beat them on longer routes. So I just let you know that. And then that end around with Ashton Doolin, that was not blocked well at all. That was another where we lost like 7 yards on that end around with Ashton Doolin. Oh my goodness. Crossing will burn a zone if you only have one guy. Now, if you got a guy in front and behind, then it takes it away. All right. They were playing the middle of the field and leaving the open one-on-one. Just saying. You ain't got to say it over and over and over, Derek. I ain't got to it yet. Yeah, he's only had, I think, 6 targets. 6 or 7 targets in the last 3 games, Campbell. And I don't think that's underused, I think that has a lot to do with Carson. That's Carson making decision on whether to throw to him. He's been out there quite a bit. That's just Carson not throwing the football to Paris Campbell. All right. And I'm upset about it too. But I'm not dropping that on Reich. Paris Campbell and Mo Alley Cox have both been out there a lot and just haven't been used very much. I think that has a lot to do with Carson's decision making on where he's going with the football. Fernandez, appreciate you being in here. Joaquin, our best players aren't playing like our best players, and the errors with the Ballard and poor personnel decisions. Colts teams playing soft. We have injuries, like I say. I mean, I would never say that Carson Wentz is soft. I think he's playing tough as nails. I think our running backs are playing tough as nails. Our offensive line's not good, right? Darius Leonard has not been playing up to his ability, I don't think. I think our defensive tackles and Grover Stewart and DeForest Buckner have been playing their butts off. But our cornerbacks, I'm going to agree that I think our secondary has not been playing as physical as what I would like to see. I think Michael Pittman and Zach Pascal have been playing physical, in my opinion. But where you need it, offensive line and your safeties need to play hard-nosed football, and they just haven't been able to do that. Now with the offensive line, I think that has a lot to do with the injuries and the fact that we're playing backups most of the time. But, guys, I appreciate everyone in here. Please smash that like button. I will be back tomorrow. We'll get a hold of DeQuell and see his thoughts on it and what he saw from a defensive player's perspective of the game. I just wanted to jump on here and throw this out real quick. I appreciate each and every one of you in here. Thank you so much. But, Colts had it a close game right up until middle of the fourth quarter. And they lose by the score that I pretty much predicted. I predicted 17-24 Titans. We lost 16-25. And Derrick Henry ran for the yardage that I expected him to run. I said, keep him between 110 and 120. And we did that. He was between 110 and 120. It's just, man, injury sucks. But Leo and Buck invest. It's actually Wentz is throwing pretty damn quick. He's throwing it fairly quickly. He just doesn't have the time to hold the football. He doesn't have time to throw the football. He doesn't have time. Sometimes, a lot of the times, he's holding the football because there's pressure in his face within like 1.5 seconds, and he has to make a move on somebody, and that forces you to hold the ball longer, right? The offensive line, I think, has a lot to do with the fact that Carson's holding the ball a lot longer. But I appreciate everyone in here and your opinions. Whether we agree or don't agree, that's I love having a nice conversation with you guys. Thanks so much. Don't forget to hit the like. Subscribe if you're not subscribed. Tag that notification bell so that you're notified next time I go live. Check me out on Newsbreak. I'm going to real quickly tag this because I get paid to. And on top of that, it's a free app. You can check me out on Newsbreak. And you can support this channel. Because if you use the link in the description, you put money in our pocket by downloading the app with that link in the description and giving me a follow. This video is sponsored by Newsbreak. Newsbreak is an app used over 1.5 billion times a month by people just like you to get local news via articles or videos by those who are focused on that specific area. People like myself. Just use the link in the description of this video to download it. Then search a city, state, or someone specific, like myself, Colts Law. Then make sure to follow them so you'll get all the news fresh as it comes out. Oh, I got something in here. What did I see? I got Leo and Buck Invest as subscribed. Appreciate you for the subscription. Thank you so much. And until next time, I'm Lawrence Owen. This is Colts Law. And as usual, have a good one.
Just because a player's not a household name doesn't mean we can't make him a household name.